Sáquenme la botella que funda para gastarle. Esta noche tú y yo nos vivimos la película. Luce cámara, la acción después en mi recámara. En el duelo no se sabe quién ganará. So baile y bebe. Ese booty retrocede. Que me encanta la manera en que tú lo mueves.
Solo pégate un poquito, mami, que yo quiero enseñarte lo que yo tengo para ti. Lo que tengo para ti. Sé que te va a encantar como meto yo.
That's right.
What is going on, everybody? That little fade in was a little slow. My computer has not been on for a while. I needed to blow off the dust of this damn thing, and it's like even now it's like okay, I guess I'm waking up and everything, and here we are, man. So I apologize to you that we missed last week. I wanted to make sure we did some kind of broadcast. I was really busy on Friday, Saturday, but here we are on a Sunday trying to make sure that we squeeze that in there because, man, I missed you guys. And the one person I definitely missed a lot, Gametime Brian. Welcome back, sir.
What's going on? Phil. How are you, man? How are you, brother? You good?
I'm good, man. My batteries are kind of recharged. I'm like, obviously I'm not into the loop as much as I would like to be with some of this Cowboy news or OTAs or any of that stuff. But it doesn't take much to get right back into it, with news out there and the coverages and everything like that. We're going to be up there, but, is it worth getting hyped? Is it worth all that stuff? So I think, we still have plenty to talk about before the training camps and any of that stuff happen. And so, I definitely want to keep doing the one episode at least, to the minimum, and then go from there.
Listen, man, there's no apologies needed. My wife's been off all week, and yet I haven't done that much. The people will tell you. It's just, it is what it is. Sometimes we get into a rut. This job that I'm doing now is a little different with my sleep patterns, and I promise, though, I'll be doing more this week, back on a normal schedule, not having to come home and do everything, and make sure people are doing what they're supposed to do around here. Take care of Daisy. Daisy's doing fine. She's following her like she's not letting my wife out of her sight. So there she is. She's literally following her now. So
I got
funny.
3 of them.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot either, man. Again, so it is what it is. Now we do have to talk. I'll start off. We have one date left that we don't know, and that is the start of training camp. They wait for some reason, why I don't know, but they wait to release the actual training camp date. But I'm looking in my phone and just, it just makes sense that it's going to be 22nd, 23rd, 24th, something like that, of July. So that means we got basically a month and a half. Now, we do have one final mandatory minicamp, which runs June 10th through the 12th for the Dallas Cowboys, which is next week. Today's what, the 7th? Or 8th? So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be the final football, mandatory. We'll see who shows. Micah is on record, Phil, say he will be there, but he will not do any on-field.
And I'm okay. So, I'm okay with that. Just because, like, wasn't it somebody just recently, the OTAs, they lost him for the season, right? There was a guy, I can't even remember what team it was, and I know it was a big time superstar. Out for the whole season. I can't even remember what team it was. That's kind of like how it was just a split second. But I'm like, that's why sometimes even with simple things like OTAs, think about Tyron Smith when he was here, and he was like walking in, and then he was like down. And it was like it wasn't even a contact. It wasn't anything. This is stuff like he was walking to the fridge in his kitchen, and it happening like that. So it's just one of those freak accidents, and that's why you can understand why people are against them practicing so hard and this and that. But when you look at it and how it used to be, is it really practicing hard? No, it's just practice.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But, Phil, I look around at the headlines, and I see the Steelers lost their tight end for the year.
But they got the quarterback.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But, talking about the injuries, I'm not here saying we don't want any injuries. We don't want injuries, but I'm not here saying that we're not going to have injuries. It's football, NFL football. Every team's going to have a couple unfortunate loss for the year guys. That's just what's going to happen. But I just need my team to be relatively healthy, and we're already seeing it around the league. It's already hitting that the teams can't stay healthy. What's going to happen when they add the extra game? But let's get right into what you brought up. Again, it's a slow news cycle. We will talk a lot of Cowboys, people. We will. But I do want to get Phil's opinion on Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers goes to the Steelers. What's your thoughts on A-Rod?
I think it's one of those things. I look at it like Love Island or some kind of these. Oh, you're bringing up all these things. Everybody's already paired off. These two jokers, all of a sudden, like one didn't get a date and the other one is a new person on the island, and they're like, well, since we're both single, beep, there we go. There's a match made in nothing. The fact that he was not involved in OTAs and you don't know what dolphin sex music stuff he's going to be listening to in the locker room. I question it, but. I mean, Is it better than what they have on the roster? Yeah. Is it going to be a lot better? Yeah, I don't know.
I'm so surprised looking at this contract. He probably could have came right back in and signed a big deal to be on TV, probably exceeding or at least in guaranteed money over the life of a contract. Anything he got a 1-year, $13.65 million deal. It could be worth up to $19.5 million. Again, that's it. For a starting quarterback, Aaron, why? Why are you going there? It makes no sense.
Just one of those things, hard to walk. I think once he's at that age, once you walk away, if a year goes by, yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that you wasted that last year, and I think that's. I know. It's like, where else was he going to go?
People break our stones that we're not.
But let me ask you a question: where could he have gone where he would have definitely been the starter?
You're right, and that's. You are correct there. I would have to analyze that. That's a good one. He walks into a situation day one, he's the starter. But you would have thought he could have. He had them by the cojones, did he not?
See, and that's what the thing is.
Easily said,
CZ, with Minnesota, like, they are all about J.J. McCarthy. Like, even last year, they were just like, oh, he got hurt, and Sam Darnold. Like, I would not like gotten rid of another quarterback or whatever until he shows me that he can stay healthy in the NFL. And I'm not trying to say he's accident prone. That is not what I'm saying. But right off the bat, you coming into the league and bam, it happens, and you're out for the whole season. You don't have training. You don't have any practices. You don't have any throwing the balls with these guys. Like, and you're just supposed to go in there going, yep, all right. Well, I'm glad that we got rid of everybody behind him. That way there's no chatter. Oh, is so-and-so going to... Well, guess what? If J.J. McCarthy can't handle that kind of conversation, then he shouldn't be an NFL quarterback, period.
And this is not, Phil, like, this isn't like he's a rookie. Again, he has been through a whole year of the strength and conditioning. I get it. He tore his ACL, and I get it. He doesn't have on field, but he's going to have a lot more knowledge now going in the year two. And I commend Minnesota from staying away from the disaster that is Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers only makes sense on a veteran team ready to win. Now, as a backup, I wouldn't even say as the main guy, but he ain't gonna do that. But I don't know, man. It is what it is. I don't know.
It's one of those weird things. I mean, I give him credit for being able to push another year out in the NFL. I do think positively about Aaron Rodgers' career, but as he does this, he's doing the Brett Favre thing where he's just dragging it out and he just doesn't go away, and you're being weird, man. Quit being weird. Like, just add this conversation. Just have a conversation. You don't have to have an opinion about everything, And the fact that you give yourself a platform, much like Micah, where you're going on the Pat McAfee show, giving yourself a situation where you're going to say something, you're eventually going to say something stupid. Let's just be real. You cannot do that many episodes and not eventually say something stupid. We've all here, I've said shit that had been like, what the hell, Phil?
I can't stop saying God darn, but the other word. I got somebody in my comments who hates when I say.
And I understand that, because even mine is like, hey, don't use God's name in vain. And I'm like, I get it. I'm sorry.
I don't mean anything by it. You got to say God, I'm like, all right, I apologize.
Crazy.
It's not, I don't mean what I'm saying. It's just an expression, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, but what I want to do is, as we have a lot to talk about in general, I really wanted to bring this part because that's all I keep hearing about culture. Oh, they bring this culture. And we see Brian Schottenheimer, I don't know if it's fake or this, but when he's out there, he's, oh yeah, let's go ahead and get it. I'm always on that boundary where I'm like, okay, this is a little bit too much. Are you being too much? Or are you actually being genuine? I know there's some genuineness there, but at the same time, like, back it off a little bit, you know? Like, you don't need to be that overhyped dude, like the rapper hype man, you know? Oh, let's get you going. Like, that's not your job, you know? But, hey, you know, it's me criticizing a guy that's being his first-time coach, and he wants to bring his energy. But when I see a lot of similarities with, you know, it may not be the personnel. I think we're going to talk about the differences. But when I see a lot of this whole culture thing, again, it reminds me a lot of the Jason Garrett and what he was doing and what he was bringing in and the talking, the players coach whole thing. So with that being said, let's talking about what similarities do you see with that type of culture and what Brian Schottenheimer is, before we talked about the differences, because I think there's a lot of differences.
What similarities between him and Garrett?
Yes. With the culture, the whole culture thing, you know, like other than the clapping, they love to clap.
Yeah, he actually gets up and I don't know. That's a tough question. What does him and Garrett have familiar?
I think it's that culture. I think the whole talk about the culture, the whole, you know, like when Garrett came in there, that was his big change. Oh, I got to change the culture around here, and culture. Right. And I guess that's the theme of this year, you know. And so I see a lot of similarities, especially with how he's trying to talk to players. And, you know, he's not a Bill Parcells coming in here and changing the culture and just being like a hard ass, just like, oh, look, man, you need to prove yourself. I don't care.
And I think that's where it stops. I think that's where it stops with the similarities, because you say culture with Brian Schottenheimer, but he also was given and seems to have confidence in himself more than Garrett did. I'm not trying to say Garrett kind of went along with the Joneses' plan and felt like he was just happy to have a job. I know that's not how he really felt, but on the surface, he didn't push for any guys that he had to have on a coaching staff. Remember?
That's correct.
It was them going out and grabbing guys and saying, you're going to work with him. He never gave Jason Garrett the reign that Trump, Brian Schottenheimer. They got rid of Al Harris and other coaches, or didn't re-sign him. When, the fans may have wanted him. Maybe some players may have wanted him. And Schotty's like, no, I want my own guys. So I think that's impressive. And, I think that was nice that he had a game plan and executed what he wanted, and they allowed it. They gave him the latitude.
Well, what I like is there's nothing guaranteed. You know, he doesn't talk about we're going to put the best 5 out there. Now, whether the best 5 is this 5 or whatever, you know, the way that he talks about certain things. And, you know, I look at his past, okay? Like, when I look at Jason Garrett's past, offensive coordinator and da-da-da, but what success did he have, you know? His offensive coordinator-ness was with us, you know, and then the Giants. And it's like, I just, you know, when I look at that, it's just, Schottenheimer, I feel he changes his approach depending on the personnel he has. Okay, I need to have these type of receivers. Yeah, let's attack like this. You know, we were at the run game. Let me attack like this, because I see some parts in there where they're like, you know, I know Shotty's going to be able to attack the defense. And that's where you have to draw that line. Like, where is our defense? Where is Shotty looking good and our defense still struggling with maybe stopping the run on this particular one? I think I saw one where Miles Sanders broke one off, and I was like, okay, but again, where was our defense? You know, was it a scheme? Was it this? So as much as I take positive on one side, I definitely take the negative on the other side. And it's not just
Drew
one side.
says Shotty's trying to be like the Eagles head coach. The only difference is, Drew, Shotty's calling plays year one as head coach. Nick Sirianni either is not allowed to or wants no part of calling plays. So he wants to be more hands-on. We'll see how that works out. It could be a backfire. I don't know. I don't think so. And listen, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to a guy who's confident in himself to bring in a guy like George Pickens and say, I don't care what the outside noise is. Everybody's telling me what we need on this football team. Yeah. What kind of character guys. George Pickens is a good character guy. And now we're hearing from all of his teammates that they loved him in the locker room. He never had a problem. You know, Mike Tomlin has latitude and is probably time should be have long gone by now. And, you know, again, I like the fact that they're letting him do what he wants. They are letting him do and have a big time say, because he's like, yo, if I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail. But I'm going to fail my way with the people I want surrounded me. And I like it. I think it's totally different than next year.
Well, what I like as well, too, is that, and this is just, I'm not comparing as well. when you're putting a staff like this together, the buck does not stop with Schottenheimer. That it doesn't. You just can go, okay, well, he's inexperienced. Well, guess what? You got an ex-head coach and your defensive coordinator that understands NFL stuff and understands defenses. Let's be real. And whether he has the personnel, whether he's going to be able to do anything, again, all side stuff. But going into it, at least you're a lot more prepared than a Rex Ryan, any of those kind of, Rob Ryan, sorry. So, but when you look as well on our offensive side, the Clayton Adams, I think that's a big one as well too. I think if you would have kept with the offensive lineman that we had before, the coach, you'd still be struggling. You wouldn't have
Solari,
you wouldn't have that feeling of, okay, we're going to see some improvement. I don't have anything positive to say about him.
Yeah, here's my thing, and we're talking up Brian Schottenheimer, but again, we don't know how they're going to deal with adversity. That's the unknown, right? But I like the fact youth what's the term? Youth brings youth brings excitement, maybe something like that. But I like that they're not that he's young, Brian Schottenheimer, but he's a young head coach, willing to do what it takes to win. Not this is my system. I'm not saying he doesn't have a philosophy, a core belief, because I'm sure he does. But the good coaches, and you see it in Philly, they will adapt to what's working. You want to force the ball. Well, hey, listen, what do we do? What do we do well as a football team? Well, we have a great offensive line. Let's maybe go out and get a Saquon Barkley. Maybe let's go out and run the damn ball and focus on stopping the run. The basic core principle of any good football team, running the football and stopping the run. So what do? Year one of SHOTTY, they go out and get arguably the best guard in the draft, at least on their board and in the minds of a lot of people. Yeah. And on the defensive side, you re-sign Osa, you bring in a Solomon Thomas, you draft a Jay Toia, big boy. Is there still maybe holes? Possibly, Phil. But my thing to you is successful teams don't go into a season with every hole filled and going out and get the best players. Like Daniel M always wants the best guy out there. Mm-hmm. No, at some point you have to coach them up. Mm-hmm. Some point you have to get more out of a player than maybe someone else
or the draft pick or any of that stuff.
You have to do that. You can't just go out. Sorry, guys, you cannot. And this is why I warned the Commanders fans, Phil, that they need to start drafting better. And you can only trade for so many other teams' talents. You can only pay so many people. In the end, you have to draft and develop, and not necessarily first round.
They tend to draft and then give up on their guys or trade them off
you can't keep them all, guys. Yeah. You can't keep them all. That's another thing. You can't keep everybody. Well, you can if you're the Eagles, but for the most part, we saw this offseason they lost 7. Key guys. You can't keep them all if you draft well enough. No. If you draft good, you're going to lose good players. That's part of the system. Keep doing it. And
you got to give them credit for the comp picks later on. That you're losing them. You get comp picks. I think that was a cool system that they brought in. Makes those a little bit.
I don't like the limitations on it.
That's understandable.
I only say that because if you're good at it, and you're letting guys go.
I understand. Woke. Totally understand that one.
Yeah, exactly. What's up, Benny Hagan? How are you, brother? Loyal Cowboy, what's up, man? Sorry, I gotta
No, but when I was looking at it, the clapping, the culture, talking, I feel with Schottenheimer's past and how he's talked and everything, he's not afraid to call out people. Maybe somebody's not playing well or whatever like that, or when they ask a decision, well, why'd you pull so-and-so from the game and everything? Well, guess be real, man. He was only averaging, whatever yards per carry and stuff. And so whether he blames it on them or whether he blames it on puts it on the defense, the defense was stopping him, and so we need to change a pace or whatever. He's just not afraid to tell you what the game plan is. Now, don't get me wrong, he's not going to tell you every single secret, but I think he just has a football mind. You can tell his dad, you can tell on certain parts that they come out. There are some things that he does differently than his dad, and so it's a modern game. All of Marty Schottenheimer's abilities and stuff would not, I don't say that he would be a 13-win coach as well in this league, but who's to say he wouldn't be,
Yeah. Well, direct quote from SHOTTY. After it's not easy to follow the footsteps of legendary father Marty Schottenheimer, but he says, I will always be authentic. I'm never going to stand up here and pretend to be somebody I'm not. I think that's a recipe for disaster in this business. I've seen it all. I've seen it fail. I think I've shared with you what his dad said. If you ever get a shot to be a head coach, one thing you should never do is change. Just be yourself. And I think that's important. I think that's very wise. You don't act like you're their coordinator and you're their buddy, right? And then be a head coach and then all of a sudden try and change. You got the job. You need to be who you are. And I think his people skills
through it all. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. And that's where I brought up, Phil, that I think the interesting part of what is about to happen is it's not always going to be good, right? And some in the chat might think it's going to be bad more than it's good, right? So how are they going to handle those situations? How are they going to handle adversity? Schottenheimer, like you lose back-to-back football games. How do you keep doing a rah-rah speech? That's when we'll know if he's going to last or not. But if you're authentic, you have a better shot than flip-flopping around, you know what I mean? You can't flip-flop. So
right now I'm like fixing up my broadcast as you're doing this. So
yeah, I figured. Logan Motorsports, what's going on? We got Drew in the house. Hamid, I think 7-11 win. 7 to 11 wins, says Coyote. But I will always, but way too early to say. Yeah, I'm not even going there. Dicarian Moore, how are you? Welcome. I think
yeah, I do remember that.
But I know it's an I and not an L. I've been calling her Dell.
There were some ones where I'm just like, I got a question. I got to ask them. Am I pronouncing it right? Because I don't want to. I don't want to offend anybody. But when I look at it, we talked about, I see him. I see these practices. I see them stretching. I see them. He's involved. He's talking to them. He's definitely got the energy. He's excited about it. So I do like those things sometimes. Just with me, I was a quarterback. Did I get excited? I do that stuff. I can be loud, but there's times where I go really. I got really quiet.
Like you were.
No,
quiet.
When it was a game that meant something, I was quiet. I was extremely quiet.
How were you in a huddle?
I was very loud. I could bitch you out one play and then praise you the next play. So a lot like Troy.
I know that.
Yeah, you've been firsthand. You've been firsthand on that one.
I've definitely known that side. Yeah. That's not a bad thing. It's good. It's authentic to you.
I expect it. I'm gonna throw you the ball and I'm gonna take the hit. And like you need to catch the damn ball or you need to block for me or something like that. I'm doing this for you. You're doing it for me. I could be I was at times a dick. Let's be real, man. But yeah. I was also happy. I was very, I was into the cheers. I was into the we had this thing when I was in high school. I remember high school because it was one of those ones where the camaraderie was a little bit higher, just in the sense of some of the stuff that we'd say. I think we were big into WCW and all that stuff, and we were. Orale! And then and the other one would yell, and it's just everybody has their routines. And so when I think back to really football, I think back to that part. And so that culture, I think that's the culture they bring in, where the offense is getting excited about the defense. And remember the time where you had it where you're like, oh, they're competing. Well, why don't you if that's an interception, I also scored a touchdown, so I should get 2. There should be competition between the offense and the defense. But that happens when they have competitive rosters, and people aren't just battling within positions to try to make this team or to try to even be a starter. Running back is one of those things. I think a lot of people definitely question, hey, if this person's available. I think earlier there, I want to go back here because I want to highlight this one because I saw it and I haven't been able to say it because we were talking about stuff. So let me see here. He goes, where is it?
While you're looking that up, Logan Motorsports, yeah, man. I was watching. I gotta watch the rest of it. My a kid and his fiance were in the other room watching.
Okay, I've had it.
Money in the Bank.
I gotta go back and watch that one.
R-Truth is back.
I saw that. And let me just tell you one thing. I don't care what AAA says. They didn't
contract over the weekend.
Yeah, I'm about to say they didn't do no. Well, that was a part of the show. No. You did the same thing as Cody Rhodes on The Rock. You reacted Yeah, we gave you our opinion, and you react. Don't make it sound like, oh well, we always plan to do that shit, man. Get out of here with Triple H.
Yeah,
get out of here.
Exactly. I was arguing with my young one, and I was
it's part of the show. It's all fake. It's all part.
I'm like, no, they look. Every damn show you've had since the rumor is that he was gone was, our truth chance. So you brought him back. It was perfect. Money talks, man. It's a marriage made in heaven. Keep the man.
Dude, I was offended. I was offended when I saw that he was making a comment about him leaving. I was like, are you freaking kidding me, man? This guy has been kicking ass. So I loved him during the Judgment Day. His whole trying to place himself within the Judgment Day. That shit made me laugh so hard, So that guy has some skills. So I'm very happy for him.
Kelly, welcome. Super chat. Happy Sunday, guys. And Brian, loving the Dorset jersey. Hanging behind you. Thank you. It's a new edition. It will be going to Vegas with me and Phil. Go ahead. Phil, play her a song.
Player a song. Well, what? Yeah, yes. Yes. Okay.
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
Wow.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Pow, right in the kitchen.
I like song. Oh yeah, songs. That's right.
I teed that one up for you.
That was good. I liked it. No, it was good. You have to remind me. I have to remind me sometimes. I got those things down there, and I don't use them anywhere near enough.
yeah, that's my new edition. Authentic 1994.
I'm going to be real, man. The next great running back we're going to have, we need to give him 44. Okay? Because you got 22, you got 33. Let's give him 44. You never know.
Going to Vegas, baby. Going to Vegas. The question is, who else is going to Vegas? We got a list.
I have been talking to some people about this. I have been. I saw that Kelly K9 and Mike Tagg were doing a Green Bay game. Yeah, I gotta say, man, good for them.
Mike Tagg, he should come to Vegas. Mike may be coming out, so stay tuned on that. He may be hanging out.
I'm hoping they did some draffle or something, some bingo and stuff. Green Bay, son of a bitch, Green Bay, really? Wisconsin. This is the reason why we didn't go to the draft.
Right
man.
Now we got Thomas Garrett, West Virginia country boy, is staying at the Excalibur.
I know Drew. It
Mike
is.
Ward, Randy got a room at the Excalibur. Oscar's got a room at the Excalibur. William Tilton's local, and me in Primetime. There's a bunch of other people, but we want to hang out with you. We want to hang out and.
You're right, Drew, man. 44 is a terrible number, but you can make it amazing if you are amazing. Let's be real, man. Any number can look amazing. And then, okay, let me go back a little bit as well, too. If we're talking numbers, I think we have to. What is with Pickens and Sam Williams? Was it Sam Williams? No, Dante Fowler, right? Dante Fowler. Switching numbers.
I don't know. What happened?
So now instead of CP3, we can go GP3? Is that what it is?
I like it.
You like it?
I
GP3?
I don't want 13. Now, hold up. Fowler's got 13?
Fowler's got 13.
That's not going to last. As soon as somebody gets cut, he'll slide into it. Fowler's
56,
but
56 is Cooper Beebe, so he can't have that number. So it's
yeah, well, and he shouldn't. Sorry, Dante.
No.
There'll be some numbers free up. There'll definitely be some numbers freeing up. So again, hold on for a sec. Sorry, I'm back.
No, you're good.
Now my son's going to work. I just didn't,
Have a great one.
Have a good one. Have a good one, everybody says. Break your leg. Oh, no.
69. No. Exactly, Arturo. 69.
60. You're a pervert, Arturo. I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
It's good to have you around when Dirty Sanchez is in here.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, so we're talking about numbers and stuff. So, yeah, I saw some switching. I wouldn't buy a jersey. Let's just be real. I mean, Pickens I could see staying on 3. But I wouldn't buy a jersey yet. I would wait till at least the first month.
Yeah, I'm not buying a jersey on a 1-year guy unless.
Oh no, heck no, unless he signs that contract like crazy. But you never know. Steelers could be selling a lot of Aaron Rodgers jerseys with a 1-year contract.
My carrier's going to Vegas. Let me know where you're staying. I'll give you some tips. I love Vegas. I've been there at least, I think, 4 times. But this is the first time where I'm going to Vegas where it's not going to be 110 degrees. So you're going in September. It's still going to be really hot, but that's fine. It is what it is. I love the heat, and it's a dry heat. But it's definitely. I will tell everybody though, if you're going, you don't want to. I wanted to stay there because I know there's I sent Phil a video. There's a
Oh, dude,
a
yes.
You could walk from the hotel. Don't get me wrong, we may or may not, but it will be cool if everybody meets up over where we're at and we all walk to the game. It's less than a 10-minute walk. I think we could all manage that. And the average temperature at that time is going to be in the 60s at night. So that's
nice.
perfect.
That's nice.
So now the big wave pool won't be open. Okay. But, who's probably swimming in that temperature? Not me. So, but yeah. But I know a lot of people are staying at the Excalibur.
Nice.
It's not the nicest of hotels.
Hey, but you gotta think about the prices sometimes when you're traveling like that, man.
Absolutely.
So I totally get it.
The
totally
reason
get it.
why is me and Phil are sharing a room. So
Sharing is caring.
I love Vegas. I love Vegas. Love it. Can't wait for the videos and lives. And Jimbo, you should come out, brother. You should come out.
I was listening to some
come
person
hang
talking about
with,
New York.
Drew.
They were talking about New York, and they're just like, yeah, Vegas is the place that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But here in New York, it never happens. So shut your mouth.
Well, and that's a good thing we could talk about. I know we want to talk about football, and there's a lot to talk about, kind of.
Next month, we're going to be doing.
I mean, I get a lot of crap for talking Eagles, but I have a couple things I do want to talk about. I don't know if you have a limit on that. I think we should just go, but like you're talking about Vegas, I wanted to ask you while we're talking about it. Do you think that they should? I don't think the NFL will do it, but they're trying to do it. Like stay at one space. Like if they realize that Vegas is good, why not have the draft at Vegas more often? Like WrestleMania was
kind of like New York Vegas, was for the longest
and now
time.
We're going back to Vegas.
Yeah, some seem like for like New York. Yeah, it just seems like it's built for it. And you can almost have that place in different locations within Vegas to make it feel like you're changing it up. But I mean, they got LED walls, they got everything, all this everywhere. So it's just, to me, it's kind of one of those cities that are kind of built for it. And it's for entertainment. Let's be real. I mean, they've been sticking these places into. I don't even know. I think the last one was some kind of a farm pasture or something up in Green Bay, one of those one of those cheese farms. But where's it going to be next year with Pittsburgh? It's Pittsburgh, right? Pittsburgh, yeah.
Yeah. So and I'm not. I know Ultra's already got his room and all. I'm not really looking forward to Pittsburgh just because I know it's a nice little town, but I don't know. I guess
especially after Aaron Rodgers lives there for a year. Yeah.
After A-Rod stink by the time we get there.
Yes.
Happy early birthday, Drew. Happy.
Oh yeah, early birthday for his wife. That's what it is. It's his wife.
I'm a Leo, so I'm in August. Birthday, and Phil. Just think, if you come out with us, you can celebrate Phil's birthday.
Yes, I have my birthday in that week. I'm not at that age yet where it's a birthday week. I still haven't hit my midlife crisis. I should be coming soon, though. I mean, awesome. I expect a Corvette at some point in the next couple years.
Leo's rock. Well, we can always rent a.
Well, I'm looking forward to that, man. Let's be real. I'm gonna probably see some high school football on that Friday, and then we're gonna see some college football on Saturday, and then.
Oh yeah. Have you ever been to Fremont Street?
Is it in Vegas?
Yeah.
Fremont Street. I went to a place that had like a bunch of like little like restaurant type of things. It was like in a little area alley. If that's it, I just didn't know what at the time.
Now go. I'll send you a video.
Yeah, it's all like a red like district. Oh no, I have not been there.
It's like something. It's a rite of passage. Like if Dicaria has never been to Vegas, it's in the old part of Vegas.
Yeah, where the STDs
you got to
are
do Fremont at least once just to say that you did it. So I've done it a couple times, but it's probably from where we're at like a $40 Uber ride. It's only like 10 minutes, but that's just how it is there. But it goes you basically go down the Vegas Strip's only like 5 miles, like 4 or 5 miles. So you basically.
I'm telling you, man, that strip looks totally different on TV than it does in life. I'm looking there. I'm like, I swear this thing is always
in Atlantic City.
So,
me being in Atlantic City, and don't get me wrong, Atlantic City's fun and it has the ocean and all, but since over the last 20 years it's taken a hit, it's starting to bounce back. It's in no way like Las Vegas. Las Vegas is awesome, but you got to know what to do. You got to know where to go. I've done the walking of the strip ad nauseum. I don't need to do that anymore, meaning, I don't need to go up and down and walk up and down. I've done it. I've done it all. So I know the good spots. I know the bad spots. You want to get a good Phil likes a good. I always forget it. What do you like? In the morning alcohol.
Oh
drink?
yeah, I'm a big Bloody Mary man. I love
Yeah.
Bloody Marys.
The Bloody Mary. I like the Bloody Marys at a place right down near, like the old part of town, the Pepper Mill, and it's nice and spicy.
Okay, yeah, I
it's
remember you
nice
saying
and
it.
spicy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always
So
love it when they
maybe
ask me
go
how
there.
spicy you want it. I
But
worked
I'll
at a
tell you,
place.
the hotel we're staying at has everything, so
Nice,
we may never
yeah.
leave.
Yeah, so like, what do we need to leave for? What do we leave for?
No, you got to explore out a little.
where I
bit,
used to work on the weekends, they would set out a Bloody Mary bar. So like it was like a big bar, and it had like bacon bits and bacon strips, or it had like celery, anything you could do, and then you could stick a salad in your drink and basically have lunch as well too. So yeah, Jimbo, yeah.
Yeah, Jimbo likes it too. I like mine spicy.
Yeah, the
too.
only way
I
you don't
like
like it is if you just don't like tomato sauce, juice, and all that kind of stuff. Which I
Oh,
mean, I know
not
people that don't like it, and they're like, ew.
I don't have a problem with it, especially I usually like them. Obviously,
What's that part
it's
Italian? You're
warm.
part Italian, right? Like,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I just my mind doesn't. I can't remember.
I would say you can't not like tomato.
My
you know?
mother would drink V8
Oh, I love V8 as well too.
all
Yeah.
the time.
Mhm.
I'm not the biggest V8 guy.
I always
but
drink.
that's obviously
I
what's
drink
in
V8
it, so-
like once a year. That's as much as I don't drink it all the time. I do like it.
Yeah,
So
it just throws me off.
yeah.
Why
is there
But
E?
anyway,
I don't-
yeah.
Oh man, there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them, man. That's just how this
They're all
this
part-
fan base
All right,
rolls.
Let me get my. I was kind of. Let me get one of my Eagle
you,
things
Logan.
out. I know
Thank you for
Vinny
coming
Hagen is anxiously awaiting my Eagles
Okay.
content.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm sure Vinny is.
I made
I gotta go
a
to the
video
bathroom now.
a couple weeks ago when I said, from what I was hearing, and that ultimately, the Cooper DeJean was going to be probably their safety.
Can I be real? Where I respect Cooper DeJean, like that son of a bitch has been partying since
Dude,
the
he
Super
is.
Bowl, and like
He's
good for
enjoying it.
him. Good for him. Like people ripping on him. Like no,
He's
leave the
definitely
dude
enjoying it.
alone. Enjoy that shit. Unless you're causing problems and stuff. He's drunk enough. Let him be. Let him be. Like dude. Like. It upsets me if you want to rip on him about football and things like that and question this and that, they go ahead and do that. But man, let that dude have some fun, man. He's just a young dude inside a Super Bowl hangover. So let's just enjoy, let him enjoy it, man. I
He's enjoying it, but Vic Fangio said it all depends on how. If he's required to play slot, meaning if the other guys aren't stepping up, he's going to use it. But if they get what they think they're going to get with some of their younger guys, he is going to play more, not consistently, but he's going to play more safety. So look for him to indeed be, in my opinion, assuming everything works out with the young guys, he's going to slide into the safety spot, which if you saw the interception, I know me and Ultra said it was thrown right at him. Well, okay, but you still got to catch the
It's that
ball.
Larry
I mean,
Brown, the whole Larry
he
Brown.
was in the right position. That's what happens. I got news for you. Most interceptions in this league are thrown right at people.
switch some stuff here.
You still got to catch it. So shout out to DeJean. He's going to be getting. Anytime you can go to multiple positions, you're a good player. I actually, I think he might be ultimately. But anyway, I'm not here. I'll be nice. But there you go. There's the Eagle content for today. You're welcome. What's your thoughts on Boss Man Fat?
Dude,
Did you
that
hear
whole
what happened
thing,
to him?
man. Yes, man. Like that dude just trouble follows some people, and sometimes you're not egging it on or whatever, but sometimes that's why it is. I don't want to blame too much on him in that situation, but let's be real. You're in a car with those type of people, and that happens in that first year. That's more of your your thoughts. I have no really about what's going on now with any of that investigation, but the fact that you're right back in it, and now another person got killed, kind of thing. It was like, it doesn't look good. Let's just say that. I mean, and he goes get traded to Miami for Noah Igbenogany, something like that. No Nagami.
Oh my God, Kelly. God bless you. Jesus.
What's that?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
She
you're
said
good.
Her husband's an Eagle fan. Lord have mercy.
So for trying, and that's that. Trust me, I totally get that, man. I totally understand what you're. I don't understand in the sense of having that same household where that content can come up at any point. So I totally understand. But when you already have a divided house, like one of them having those victories, I'm pretty sure he was tired of you running around with your 5 Super Bowls as well too. So I don't know how much trash talking you do to your husband.
Yeah, hey, if I know Kelly, I've sent her a few things. She's probably all in his face.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
And then there's a lot of
We will divorce every football season and watch it.
that's good though. As long as you bring them back in the
rekindling,
fold.
rekindling.
That's what it's about.
Yes,
That's what it's about.
Sometimes you got to let it go and wait till the end of the season. It's like, I don't hate you so much when there's not football on. It's like those one, the ESPN commercial they show like these 2 people kissing. I know we brought it up before, but
What's
these
up,
2 people
Isaac?
kissing on the couch, and you're like, oh, this would be romantic if, and then it zoomed out, and one was wearing Ohio State, and the other one was wearing Michigan, and it's just like, if sports is not involved, like, I think it's hilarious. But yeah, we can go really honestly anywhere. We talked about culture. We talked about, Micah coming to, hey, I'm going to be there. Of course he's going to be there, man. Mandatory stuff, I would expect him to be there. Voluntary stuff, it's up in the air. But if he's a leader, he'll at least be there, right?
Yeah, and he's going to be there. He has to. Like he said, he needs to be there to learn some of the nuances of what's going on. Let's be honest. Mandatory minicamp. There's not going to be hitting at this thing anyway. He's just, again, it's totally fine.
I like the fact that
what they do, everybody. And I'm not going to get stressed over it anymore. I'm just not going to give kudos to Stephen Jones.
No.
For no reason, like other people. I'm not.
Well, when I look at it, like if him being there, I mean, what's he going to do? If he's not on the field, what is he going to do? Is he going to sit there and talk to other people? No, he's going to look. He's going to see a guy doing something. He's going to give them advice, like a coach would do. You got your top guy giving you advice. How's that not a good thing? Unless he's telling you that you suck, or he's trolling you or something like that. I don't see that being that kind of person. But I guess there's always negativity. You could have it. Oh man, I'm trying to do my job and learn and stuff, and he's up my butt. No. You can turn anything any particular way, but I think him being there is always going to be a positive. You always want to see your captain there. You always want to see your leader. If something's happening in the locker room, my jockstrap itches. You want to be able to talk to your leadership. So it's kind of much like your HR for the locker room.
HR, I like it. The friggin' HR. Nobody wants to hear from the HR.
Nobody wants to hear from HR, but locker room HR is a little different,
Locker room HR is it's a lot different. Let's see here. What's going on in the chat here?
Says Arturo talked to Thomas that's in the chat. I always bring about Solomon Thomas, and, I know he gets a lot of comparisons to Dak in the way he looks.
Dude, he looks a lot like him.
That dude is doing mental health stuff, camps and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, can you do any more Dak stuff? Like, stop doing that.
He's always been a good guy.
He has. Well,
right.
Walter Payton Man of the Year. He was part of that.
He's like a Dak clone.
Yes, he is. It's like, dude, like he's doing that Jet stuff over there. Yeah, exactly. With the playoffs, if the playoffs come in, we'll see how well. Playoffs. So, but yeah, and so. With those things coming, I mean, you see people, Pickens is doing well in camp, and then he didn't. Again, none of that really means anything. We always see some wide receiver that steps up. Oh, TJ Vassar, right? I don't even remember all the damn names. Like, it was just so many different names that you're like, what the? Yeah, and then when the season comes, you're like, no, none of that.
Brooks. Oh wait, that was my guy. See,
he's still on the
I'm
team.
Not saying he's a failure, but he didn't live up to it. But then again, let's face it, last year was really
bad throws. Just to watch some of that quarterback play, I was like,
big time. Looks like Dak on steroids. Big time,
man. He does. Like,
he looks.
I love the way he talks to the camera as well too. I mean, there's just some stuff. I mean, he's got to perform and stuff. And so that's any time I'm trying to praise. Remember, I'm not praising the whole person and saying this is the fixer all and everything. I still see the defensive tackle being one of those weaknesses that we're going to need to. That doesn't mean that somebody can't step up and be that. But if you're going to bet your mortgage on it, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't think that Jay is going to come in here and be that guy. Now, he can be surprising and go, was Leroy Glover, like, when I think of him, wasn't he drafted later, or am I wrong on that one?
Leroy Glover?
Was he drafted high?
We didn't draft him.
I know we didn't draft him, but when he got drafted in general, I'm a little curious about that, because that's the first person that comes to my mind but I think I might be wrong. I think I might be thinking John Randall. I think that's what it is. John Randall was a defensive end or whatever, and he was drafted later, but then became this all-pro thing. I think I might be thinking John Randall.
Yeah. Let's see here. Leroy Glover. Let's see. Wiki. Leroy Glover. Let's see. Leroy Glover, 6'2", 290. He's 50. Shout out to Leroy Glover.
I bet you it still looks amazingly great.
Let's see. American. I don't know where he was drafted. I'd have to look. I know who would know.
Let's see.
5th round.
Okay.
5th round in the 166th pick.
Okay.
So Leroy Glover was drafted in the 5th round.
Now think of John Randall. Give me John Randall.
John Randall. Ooh,
yeah.
John Randall.
So I might have hit two of them, 2 birds with one stone, like in the same subject, thinking that I messed up here.
Yeah, Johnny Randall. Boom, boom.
Was
boom.
undrafted
John
or
Randall, Hall of Fame.
7th round?
2010. I don't know. I have to find that out. Wiki. Let's look at the wiki. John Randall was drafted, undrafted in 1990. He was a free agent, and I believe put in the comments, was 1990 when they had 12 rounds, or did they go to the 7 round? No, I think that was still 12 rounds.
I think that was still 12.
So he went through 12 rounds, right?
Light skin fat over it. But no, I don't know. I'm a little curious if there was 12 rounds still at that time. Because when
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, because Troy was 9.
They had 12 rounds. Yes, I thought so, Thomas.
Okay.
Because I believe they did.
That's crazy, man. When you really think about the career that he had and just how loud he was, that's just awesome. That's one of those guys that you're just like, can a guy show up out of nowhere and be the man? Right. Hell yeah, he can. That's the NFL. I mean, NFL has plenty of stories with guys like that. Plenty of it within this roster. Past couple of years, 10 years, 12 years, or give it something with the Cowboys. Even though they have not had that Super Bowl victory in those 30 years, they've definitely found some talent but the only problem is they like to throw all their eggs in that basket sometimes, and you're not going to hit it all the time. Like, yeah, okay, I was digging in the spot, I found a diamond, that's awesome, but that doesn't mean like, okay, let's change the whole scavenging thing over here, let's pull all the machine, let's shove it over here, I found one diamond over here. Like, that's how it kind of feels like, it's just like they're not utilizing everything of the coal mine or the diamond mines and stuff like that, and kind of just getting everything. Okay, we're gonna get free agency there, and this is where you kind of saw it here, and we talked about it. What was the motivation for the Joneses? Was the motivation because we picked this guy that hasn't been a head coach and we want to make sure that he succeeds, or is it because of Jerry? Maybe Jerry's time kind of a little bit running out. It's up in the air. And I even had
man, what's up, brother?
I even had a guy comment to me and asking me, the time that Jerry does go to that point, do you think Steven will be gone? Do you think they'll sell the team? I'm like, they're never gonna sell the team, because that would make them irrelevant by that point, Yeah.
Arturo.
I would hope that he, again, like we've talked many times, that that he takes a step back, allows guys like what's his name, Will McClay, to kind of do more of the GM type of stuff. Give him that role, give him all that. But who's to say, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just that the uncertainty kind of sucks, because I think that for a while there was a bright spot, at least hoping that he was going to change some stuff that maybe Jerry was doing. But now we find out that Jerry's the more aggressive one, and this is going to be very conservative crap when it comes to Steven, and I don't look forward to that part. To gain weight and have some sign up for the
I agree. John Randall played his college football at Texas A&M, says Thomas Garrett. Yes. Indeed. John Randall, again, that's just another example.
Wow.
When you got guys who say, well, you got to have a first round this or a first round. No, you don't. I say it ad nauseum. And like I'll mention, my lot of the Eagle fans, because it's a diamond in the rough. No, it's not. I mean, that's a great pick, but Dallas has had a lot of guys over the years that were not high drafted. If you're a good team, you find guys out of nowhere and you make them into something. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what made our 90s team so great. We had a lot of failed players. Nate Newton, right? Nate Newton. A
lot of those guys.
Larry Allen was a second-round pick out of Sonoma State, but he didn't come until later. He wasn't a part of that earlier team. Kevin Gogan. It just goes on and on. But real quick, before we go any further, speaking of the Dallas offensive lineman, Tom Rafferty died. He's a 14-year Cowboy. He died at the age of 70. Again, man, he was the best. So I know Thomas knows a lot about Tom Rafferty. You know, he had a stroke. It's sad, man. It's sad. We're losing our stars. If and when when we lose Roger, that's going to be a tough day because Roger, I think Roger and Tony D. You know, Tony Dorsett's one of my all-time favorite Cowboys. Even though he wasn't the best Cowboy, he was one of my all-time favorite Cowboys. And Roger was just a class act.
Yeah.
So, Roger reminds me just in his demeanor like Dak, but Roger was able to win Super Bowls. That's the difference. You know what I mean? If you can't win in the playoffs, then this is the difference. So we shall see.
Loyal and Ultra's conversation is going to make me throw up online, man, on air.
I'm not even going to go there with Dank. Yeah, Vinny, Dorsett's not doing great. He suffers from a lot. And again, that was the game back then, Vinny. The game was brutal. And it was the field conditions, the brutality. Just watch highlights from a game in the 80s, even early 90s. Like Aikman's whole career, basically. It was just nothing but brutal.
What's up, Clemente?
Very cool, Thomas.
that is
Clemente, cool. What's up, bro?
Well, they're always that one. I remember growing up in obviously Florida, and I was born in Naples, but I didn't live here all my life. I've gone to other places. Yeah, I was actually born in Naples. So this is my boomerang home. I call it my boomerang home because I leave, I come back
you were down like near where Angelica, right? You were down more towards
Tampa,
Florida State there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where I was originally, like I was born in Naples, came up to Central Florida, Wauchula, like all that kind of stuff. So played a lot, 3A, 5A, kind of things like that.
Yes, Glimmer Man, Roy Williams.
Roy Williams, which one?
No, the safety. He was a thumper, man. It's all he could do, but.
Oh yeah. And he was kind of that linebacker head. I don't even know I forgot what I was going to talk about now.
You were talking about where you brought up. You were
Naples.
Boomerang.
Yeah.
You brought up your Tampa.
No, lost it.
Sorry,
guys.
Sorry, that's on me.
Yeah, sorry about that. And we do that to each other.
We're
both very. If I'm going on a row and you jump in there and ask me a question, I have to think about the question. Yep, subject's gone. Subject's gone.
I've been getting in trouble for not getting to the chat a lot. So on your channel, I'm really hitting it and not realizing you're hitting a button behind me. It is what it is.
But
I don't know that Roy was dirty. He did have the horse, not Roy. Roy Williams. I don't know that he was dirty.
It was a very effective. Yeah, he was a very effective way to pull you down from behind.
He's the one that would use that, and they end up banning it. Again, a lot of frustration on that team because.
Yeah, thank you, Glimmer Man. That's exactly what it is. and a little bit too much smoking as I was going in there. Yeah, that 420 is not only for my. I'm forgetting shit. I'm like, damn, man, like.
It's a weird night.
Oh,
dude,
it's gonna come to me in the middle of the night. I swear, it's gonna be like, oh, that's right. I'm gonna do a video in the middle of the night.
I'm an idiot. That's Brian. When you have two players on the defense, that tells you. That's what I'm saying, Arturo. When you have Roy Williams, he didn't have a lot of help, so he was kind of frustrated out there taking his. It is what it is. Hutchinson from Detroit is dirty. Yeah, Clemente.
Yes, he is. The trippings, the kickings, those little things that he does, extremely dirty. I don't think anybody really calls him out on that stuff. Yeah, Detroit fans, that's part of the game until it's done to you, and then you're whining for the next 3 to 4 years.
Right? After he got hurt, and I feel bad about it. I had a Detroit fan reach out to me. He's like, because I basically said karma. I wasn't rooting for Hutchinson to get hurt. But after it was over, I'm like, that's kind of what he does to everybody else. So it kind of came full circle. What you do upon somebody else will come back on you tenfold. And that was a nasty injury.
Yeah, it was.
It was you. You were the one that was saying that he don't look right when he runs.
I don't think it is. Everybody in the community, all those people are saying, "Oh, he's above. He looks amazing." So, okay, whatever. I'm not a doctor and it's stuff, but when I watch it, it's very like they're like very jerky. Like it's just like I get it. He's going fast and stuff, and he can go fast right now where most people are just walking. I get that. I get all that, but at the same time, it does not look fluent. And obviously, it's still in the parts of his recovery. It's not even half a year. Well, maybe half a year. But still, I mean, it's to me, it does not look good. Oh yeah, man, that's a good one. Loyal Sue, that dude was dirty. He definitely was dirty. But that was like early. I think he got smart by the end of the year. You know, when to unleash it and when not to unleash it. But let's just be real, man. Exactly. There's dirty stuff happening all over the place. All over the field. It's just whether you're getting caught, you know. It's like people swinging on each other. The second guy always gets in trouble. I don't know, man. There's just certain fouls. Like, you know, you got the competition committee. There's plenty of things that I've talked about where they need to change some stuff up. You know, banning things. It just, to me, that's when a team can dominate on something and you're trying to ban it. I think I don't know. I shake my head a little bit, you know, with that.
Carrier says, I hate the tripping call that they did on us, and it should have been on Hutchinson. Yeah, 100%.
Yes, exactly. But then you don't go back and review it, or they're not like the XFL or the UFL. Let me say the UFL, where the UFL is up on the top saying, no, he didn't do that. The other guy did that. He corrects it. The NFL, like, no, we are not going to ever tell you that we were wrong, and we're sure as hell not going to put it on a replay to show you we were wrong. Like, that's not the NFL. Like, we're not going to take credit for that stuff. We're going to take credit for all the success, but any negativity, oh no, that's everybody else like that. Yeah. So to me, like, UFL is revolutionizing it, showing you all the stuff. Oh, now it's over here in the NFL. It's not like, man, get out of here, you copycat.
Yeah, exactly. Bobby Murphy, what's up? Andre Dirty Waters, you know that, brother. You know that.
Well, yeah, the dirty thing is, like, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Yeah, if you're not cheating, you don't really want to win. Like, you're not really that good. Let's be real, man. You're cheating. You're just not really that good.
There's a difference between
you know the person in front of you is better than you, so you start doing shit. You know, let's be real. Like, you know, I understand that you can get away with stuff in the NFL, but if you go through a whole career like that, yeah, you're in the Hall of Fame, all this other stuff, but true fans have your asterisk right next to your name, you know? And you can't turn around and tell me that, you know, Micah, and I'm going to bring up Micah on this one because this would be the, but Micah being on another team, you can't tell me that he wouldn't have gotten more holding calls, you know?
Yeah. Xavier, what's up, brother? Xavier Champion says, good Sunday to you, Game Time.
Yeah.
What's up, brother? How are you? Bill
Sunday, no football.
I would agree with that, Arturo. Bill Romanowski, but we didn't know that he was whacked.
Man, breaking people's jaws and
with D-ball and all that.
You know who Dayball. That's who I want to talk about. That dude is
not
just
Dayball.
Not the Dayball. No. The dude that was a lineman. He's dark hair. I was thinking Dayball, but maybe that's not it. He played for the Denver Broncos. He's an analyst, and he talks about he makes these comments. And anytime I hear about him in the NFL, it's the most disgusting stuff. Okay, now I gotta figure it out. Here, hold on.
Denver defensive lineman.
No, offensive lineman. I think he was offensive lineman.
Offensive lineman.
Denver.
Because I think it's Steve Atwater, but Kelly, I still do this to this day. I have a counseling and therapy because of Des Bryant no catch. I hear you. They changed the rules on that one. Bill Laimbeer was the dirtiest player in the NBA. I think most of that Piston team was.
Yeah, that's true. Mark Schlereth. Mark Schlereth.
Oh, Mike Schlereth.
Mark Schlereth.
Gotcha.
Yes. So when I hear about him in the NFL,
I think they called him Stink.
Well, yeah, because he would pee his freaking pants on the field, dude.
Think about this, everybody.
Like I don't want to go outside to do it because I want to keep playing and stuff. He'd pee his pants on the field.
He would piss himself on purpose and then stick his hands and then use it.
Yeah, as a weapon.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
That's just one of the things that he did. And then he's sitting there talking about people and their what they're doing and stuff. I'm like, really, dude? Like, that is the pot calling the kettle black. Like, dude, like, really? Like, that is so nasty, some of the stuff. So anyway, so that was the guy. But yeah, Steve Atwater, when you bring up him, man, Atwater was a freaking hitter. He was
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know.
love
It made no sense when I was a kid. I'm like, look how big he is. Where's he getting all that? Like,
called him
is it like Bruce Lee? Like it just like the thump, the little, you know? Yeah, it was a stink. It was nasty.
That's disgusting.
There's
Come
a whole
on,
bunch of
that's
stories when it
disgusting.
comes to him. Like lots of stories when it comes to him. And he does not deny it. He steers into the skid and he's like, yep, that's what I used to do. Like all proud and shit about it.
Be like water.
Ugh.
does
be
that mean?
like what? Well, be like water. You bend, and then you like if you hit you hard, you don't bend. You hit them with as much force, So bend
Yeah.
around them, stuff like be like water.
Atwater destroyed Christian Leitner, says Clemente. Atwater, I just love those Denver Broncos unis, the orange crush with the blue helmet with the D.
Yeah,
That's-
and you
come on,
love
there's
the
certain
the old
uniforms I
Tampa
love.
Bay. You love the old Tampa Bay popsicle
No, I do
ones,
not. I don't.
creamsicle. We
I
said
don't mind the helmet. Yeah, I don't
the
mind them.
swashbuckling
Yeah,
helmet,
you're
that
right.
was bad.
I
That-
like the old Patriots better than the new Patriots. Yeah,
I like the logo.
I like the
old-
Oilers. Now there's no Oilers anymore. I get it.
I like that
I
when they
like
do the
home
throwback,
brand.
that throwback jersey for the Tennessee Oilers whole thing. That looks pretty cool though. They
Ooh,
do
that
a
was
really good
nice,
job.
man. Yeah. Yep. I agree. I think they finally got it right when the Chargers went to the throwback because I think the Chargers uniforms were better. Back, with the
Yeah, Dennis
Lyle
Rodman was another
Alzado,
one.
Bobby Murphy, dude. Lyle was again drug-induced. Steroids will do that to you, especially back in the '70s. Steroids.
You could do that in the locker room
They were-
halftime.
They were
Like-
horse. God, they were horrible.
yes. But man, like
Chuck Cecil,
it's kind of
yeah.
funny. I went to go with one culture and stuff like that, and we just went into many different subjects. And I think that's what the off season really is. I mean, right now there's many stories.
There's
You
not
could
much to talk
you
about.
could go down. Well, let's be real though. You could go down every single conversation. We could have Dak. Okay, Dak is your quarterback, and there would be a huge debate on that stuff. The running
Yeah,
back
we did that.
situations. Who do you think should start? Who do you think will be this? Who do you think will have more yards?
Oh, we
Who
can
do you think
talk
will be
about
cut?
that.
Who do you think they're wide
We can
receivers?
talk
And
about
like,
running back,
okay, let's
but
do
I
it.
think it's still developing. It's
It
kind of
is.
hard.
It is. It's guessing.
It's kind of hard to talk about it with any real
Certainty?
authority
Yeah.
when it's developing in front of your eyes. It's not like we got a Saquon. Now we don't know what we have necessarily on down one. I don't think anybody's arguing. Now let me ask you this, Phil. I know I'm going to get trolled for this, but we're hearing that Miles Sanders has jump. He looks really quick. Is it possible that he, again, like Mingo, and we're going to see Mingo with a full training camp, that Carolina Panthers were just horrible and guys were, for whatever reason, not performing? Is that a possible? Is it possible that we can get something out of Miles? I was on record saying maybe Miles may not be on this team, but we're hearing that he's got juice. Him and Jaden Blue are the two guys on the team that are flying around. Your thoughts?
When I look at, I just, is it Bryan being able to scheme? I think that's, I'm going to question that. I'm going to question it. I'm going to look at the blocking. I'm going to look at everything and just be like, okay, was it the blocking on that play? Okay, once he hit past the blocking, well, how was he in the secondary, or how was he when he had one-on-one? Okay, we blocked everybody else, but now you got to beat this one guy. How are you? So when I see him in that practice where I see these long runs, I'm like, yeah, I get excited about it, but I get very worried in the sense that we just allowed a big-ass run.
Oh, Damasi.
We just allowed a big-ass run, and what's stopping other teams from doing that shit if we just did it to ourselves? So-and-so's not in there, Michael Parsons not playing, that stuff. Yeah, but he just went up the middle kind of thing. It was a draw play, whatever it is. Again, whatever I see a positive play, I look on the opposite side as well. You can't just go in there ranting and raving about one side of your team, and then...
Sean Taylor, wow.
Yeah, Sean Taylor, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love Sean Taylor. I'll be, again.
I respected him a lot, even with them being on another team. It was just one of those guys you
University of
respected
Miami,
that.
right?
Yeah, you respected that the talent that they had. Just wow. There was a lot of hard hitters back then in general. And I even remember bringing up George Teague and being like, us being signed. And why did he get re-signed? Was it because of his play? More probably because of that whole situation with T.O. But I loved that. I was all about having that kind of guy. I want a guy that wants to be here, that wants to protect the star and everything like that. So I look at him a big. He's probably within the first 7 or so that I will name safety wise when it comes out of Dallas. So it did make that big of an impact. I think Right now, you have Malik Hooker out there. I think he's very underrated. People tend to want to write him off. I'm probably one of those people as well. Yeah, and
I liked him when we got him. He doesn't
didn't
make
have
a lot
anything.
of plays.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting a saltine cracker and not and it's being starved to death. Of course, you're gonna be excited about that damn saltine cracker, you know. But when you see the rest of it, you know, you're like, okay, maybe I don't need this cracker anymore. I mean, I don't mean it like that.
We know how you mean it.
I don't need a damn cracker no more.
Jimbo says, game time, would you be interested in talking to Buffalo about Cook? Again, you know, you don't need to draft running backs high to be good. You know, I mean, I saw Drew's comment about our running back room is sad. How would you even know? You don't, I mean, again, it's all about the offensive line. If your offensive line blocks, we went out and got a guy who runs a 4.28, Jaden Blue. Now, he's a rookie. I don't want to have to rely on him. Who knows? But, you know, let's see. What's the question?
I mean, I get this argument. I mean, you look, okay, at his previous team. What did he do at his previous team? You're like, well, I mean, let's take into consideration.
I'm not giving a lot for Cook. I like Cook, but I'm not giving a lot for him.
Yeah, and I think that was the question early on that I was being asked about.
Yeah,
was
Buffalo.
Cook from the Bills, and it's just not somebody
Why would
I'm
they get
interested
rid of him if they're favored in every game and they're ready to roll? Why would the Bills get rid of him? Because they don't have a long-term deal. Dallas ain't paying him. They just drafted a young stud who's going to be in the mix. You know. So, but anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry, Phil. Get back to your thought.
You're good.
Or did I screw you up again?
I'm all over the place as well too. So
No,
if you run
me
with
too.
the subject,
Well, again, we could argue about
anything really.
stuff that's just hypothetical. You know. Again, it's all hypothetical to say that our rookie running back is trash when he hasn't played it down in the league.
And but then I'm also on the other side as well too. It's like I don't get extremely excited because I need this guy. I need this guy to go against NFL talent, the speed of the NFL, and then see how he balances that out. Like I definitely see him on my sense of that replacement for Tony Pollard. I kept saying that. That we never replaced, and so I feel at least that. I'm not saying that he's at the level of that, but until he said he could be better, he could be worse.
Well, Ultra brings up a good point, Phil, and we could transition to this for this next segment. Malik Hooker had his best season with Matt Eberflus. Now, it is factual that Matt Eberflus in year one goes to a team and makes them a top 15 defense. Okay, that's fact. So if we could assume that that's going to carry over to here, let's say Dallas finishes 15th overall defense this year. Let's just say it. That would be a remarkable turnaround. That's probably worth a couple games right there, right? Compared to being 29th in the league. Mm-hmm. So that would be great. That's his track record, but he's saying the Hooker's had his best year. It's a schemes thing. I really do believe that. And this goes out to Drew. Drew was right last year when Drew said that we did not have the players for the scheme. And I say that because Osa and others are coming out now saying what the hell was going on last year. Nobody felt confident in what they were doing because they felt like they were playing out of position. They didn't have the bodies to play.
Well, we saw a lot of that. I mean, when the injuries started happening, not only did you have to not have that personnel.
He was right about that.
Yeah, you were losing personnel as well too. But yeah, it's very much so. When you saw Osa playing, he was trying to play also on the side of himself instead of going, "Oh, I'm just taking care of my lane." Oh no, I got to take care of the guy beside me. So I definitely saw a lot of that throughout the season. One thing I do like about the offense and defense this year is that they are schemed. And they're schemed to change in halftime. Like, oh, okay, this isn't working. Let's go to this. Oh, well, we've been setting this up for this. Let's counter it with that. I feel like there's going to be more football intelligence conversations happening during those half times. Even just getting people's input. Okay, what are you seeing out there? It's like, oh, the corner's biting on this and stuff like that. And let's adjust. Let's do a whole adjustment for it and stuff. So instead of going, hey, Coach McCarthy, is it okay if we change this and everything like that? You got to ask for permission and stuff like that. But when your main guy is that guy, same thing would come for the Eberflus. He's that I got to change this scheme. This is not working. I'm not saying that it's going to help, but it's definitely better than the whole Garrett situation where in McCarthy we're like, look, man, we're still going to play our game plan. Now our guy's just got to beat the guy in front of him, and that's sometimes football, man. Sometimes you just got to beat the guy in front of you. But But if you really want to win games and win championships, there's got to be some schemes behind it. You got to understand your personnel. But I'm preaching to the choir. You guys already know all that. And I think if anything, the coaches or some of the ownership should be listening to some of this stuff. It's going to be interesting because I see some other teams, like when I saw Chip Kelly coming back as well too. With that. Yeah. I see him having a little bit more success. Has he learned from his failures in the NFL?
I don't know about Chip Kelly. Listen.
Players do not like him. Players do not like him.
But Chip Kelly's already trying to screw up Ashton Genty. Mm-hmm. If I'm Ashton Genty, why am I listening? I mean, he basically changed his running, like how he stands before he gets the ball. I don't know, man. He's done well. I guess like Chip Kelly knows how to thrive in the NFL. Does he? I don't know. What has Chip Kelly done at the NFL level? I'm not saying he's not a great coach in the college, but
pissed off a lot of NFL players.
Yeah, I mean, he ran out half the Eagles team. He ruined that whole franchise. Sorry, they did. It's amazing that they bounced back after Chip Kelly. He had Howie Roseman in a broom closet.
Apparently
he was
so.
running out. He did. He
wasn't doing any of that stuff in Oregon.
Howie was the janitor for a couple of years. You had you ran out LaShawn McCoy. I mean, don't get me wrong. The restaurants were happy because he doesn't tip. He's a cheap SOB. But other than that, he was a good running back. They ran him out of town. So, yeah, I don't have much respect for Chip Kelly. But I do remember when he came to the Eagles, Anthony Gargano, then of, I think WIP at the time, maybe 97.5. He called him Chip-a-Check, like he was the next Bill Belichick coming to the Eagles.
Logo. Look at Loyal Cowboys logo. I like it, man.
Dude, I love it, bro.
That's awesome. Like Chip or not, he impacted it. I mean, he also let the NFL know that you cannot run hurry up offense all the damn time. Your defense is going to get tired at some point. Like, it's just, you would think your offense would get tired, but, when it's not successful, it doesn't, he went from a college program that really had it all over the field. Like, you stretched it out, you get people they're very fast, but you were also going against competition where, your linebackers weren't at running back type of speeds, so you could get around that corner. So I think, being tired, trying to push. I love the change of pace, no huddle offense when it comes to, hey, man, we've tried 4 drives and we cannot get anywhere. Let's hurry it up like that. That's the change of pace, throw them off. I don't think teams use that enough.
Yeah, but I don't mind the change of pace, but Chip totally threw out time of possession as a something that wasn't important in the NFL. It's very important.
Extremely important, yeah.
It's very important.
Sometimes you
can't hold up over the long haul, just going down scoring, and then not having any, or 3 and out after a team just goes down and scores a touchdown. Sometimes you need to get some first downs to get your other side of the ball some rest. And I think the NFL has escaped. It's not the college game. It's different. And I agree with what Drew's saying. Chip Kelly, he's a great offensive mind, but I don't know that it translates. I don't think he misses something from the offensive mind scheme to the field in the NFL, but I don't know. Good luck to him. I just would be leery if I'm a Raider fan. You went out and got a generational running back, and he's already changing how he lines up.
Yeah.
I'm not saying nobody can be coached, but we'll see. I don't know. Let the guy do what he's good. How much you want to bet he's going to struggle? And he's going to say, I'm going to do what's comfortable. That's what's going to come next. I'm going to be me, So, we'll see.
When I look at that whole thing, I'm probably on the opposite side. I'm a little bit on the opposite side. I want my running back bent a little bit because I don't want there to be okay, now I'm getting the ball, bending. Like I'm bending. Like you're telling the offense, the defense now what you are doing. Unless you're going to bend every single time, even when you don't get the ball, like, okay, I get that. But the standing up crap, you're not Michael Myers. As much as it would look really cool, you're going to get your ass handed to you in the NFL if you do that. And I know you're a big dude and you can bounce off stuff, but it's eventually gonna it's like that running back that like scratches every time he's gonna get the ball. All right, he has some kind of superstitious thing, and to me, like it's one of those things that gives away what's happening. Now, yes, you can use it to your advantage, but at the same time, he has to get, there's that little bit of extra, and again, it doesn't seem like very much, but as a quarterback, it is big. I mean, now he has to get down a little bit more instead of faking the handoff. It's like, is he going to commit to that?
Yeah.
Is he going? There's just a lot. I mean, but again, like I said, if he commits to it where he's bending down every single time, then that would work. But I'm not all butthurt about Chip Kelly making him change his stance.
Yeah, no, I'm not butthurt. I just would be leery. Dallas might lose the game to the Raiders. You may lose the game week 1. How are we talking about the Raider game? Let's get through. We don't know by the Raider game.
I mean, okay. You want me to give you a recipe of why the Raiders could win? Yeah, I can give you a recipe.
The Raiders are gonna beat up
they don't
on the
have a
Dallas.
quarterback, so they have to run the ball all the time.
Helmets are looking strong.
Yeah, and the defense of this Cowboys team, what is the possible one weakness? It's the running game. There you go. I get it. I get it. And stuff like that. But at the same time, you're not going to tell you. You're not going to
joke.
You're not going to tell me that player versus player, talent versus talent, that they're just going to run away with it. No, I don't give it that. Even with Pete Carroll there?
In Midland.
Dirty damn.
Chip straight to the Ohio State juggernaut offense, get him back in. Yeah, he's done well in college. So I'm not going to – he was great at Phil's alma mater. Mm-hmm. I loved him in Philly. He ruined that franchise real quick. I loved it. But all kidding aside, who knows? I'm just saying I would be a little leery. Yeah. I understand what you're saying, Phil. In the NFL, you can't run upright. Derrick Henry's done pretty well.
Yeah, but not everybody's Derrick Henry as well, too. I mean,
not everybody's Ashton Jeanty either.
Yeah, I know, and I know that. I mean, it's easier to say.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I would be leery. It's like, what are we doing, man? Why don't we just worry about maybe getting Geno Smith going?
I mean, I give him credit. I give him credit, but
the easiest position to translate is running back from the college. It's like, what?
But let's be real. Let's be real. When Henry does his Henry thing, it's against secondaries and maybe some linebackers grabbing a shoulder pad or whatever like that. I've yet to see a square up. I mean, there probably stuff is out there, because don't get me wrong, it wasn't Brian, watching Derrick Henry in Tennessee and Baltimore and all that kind of stuff. So there may be those ones where he was squaring up with a good linebacker and he was running them over. Right. But if you get a guy that's about your size and you're going forward and you're not leaned forward, you're on your back real quickly. So I got to give him credit. He's gone a whole career not having that. I always thought that with Josh Cribbs as well. When you would watch Josh Cribbs running those, he was just always upright, and you're like, dude, that is just the weirdest thing. But if it works, man, you got to the NFL, so I, can't really rip on you too much. So I'm interested to see. I mean, these top any of these top rookies that are going into this league. We talked about JJ McCarthy earlier, Minnesota and everything. I loved what Minnesota did on their defense, man. They did some crazy stuff this offseason with that defense, and that to me is your best way of giving McCarthy some help, is by giving him more opportunities. Maybe he's not driving 3 drives in a row, but because your defense keeps you in the game, that 4th drive, now he's in the league. Oh, rookie of the year, everything like that. It's going to be exaggerated like crazy, especially if that defense is kicking ass and he's doing they won 7-3 and he won, 17-14, little bitty victories. These NFL analysts love to jump on these parades and run with them,
Yep. Absolutely.
So, and in the end, and let's be real, in the end, Joy Taylor was very correct on why is not Rodgers on the Steelers practice? Why is he at home? So she knew the whole time. That's what happened when you sleep with the talent. My bad. Did I say that out loud? My bad. My bad. That was
I did not know.
Drew, and he does. Nice. Drew, he got some great weapons. I think the only thing that's going to stop JJ is JJ. Whether he gets the offense or
maybe
anything.
NFL experience.
Yeah, the NFL experience.
Maybe
and,
that. Maybe
nervousness. We don't know yet.
Trying to take it from the chalkboard to the gridiron.
What did he
sometimes
do
those
in
open
college that
seats.
you just gave up the whole franchise of everything? You know, like I'm not saying Sam Donald should have been paid. I'm not saying that at all. But the fact that you're like, no, don't need anything else. We love this right over here. It's he must have been doing some amazing stuff during that training camp. I don't see that. I don't look at his college tape and go, okay, I'm betting the whole franchise on this guy, and and not trying to have some kind of who's their backup. I mean, now I gotta look.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vikings.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
So you got Sam Howell, Max,
Sam Howell. Okay.
Max
He got a little
Brosmer,
experience.
and Brett Ripton. So yeah, Sam Howell is your
Brett
is your
Ripken probably won't make the team. Nice. So it's basically a shit show, and they're putting all their eggs in JJ McCarthy's basket, and I think Kirk Cousins will. Again, I mean I give him credit, but if I'm just glad if I'm Justin Jefferson that I got paid already. So there's no expectations because they're really trying to force feed. When you hear this type of story, he's looking this, he's looking that, his leadership. Again, you haven't done it. You still haven't done it. Now, again, either did not Richardson, Daniels in Washington, and he had a good year. Yeah. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I like JJ, but I don't believe they're going to be great. I think they'll be okay. I don't think Minnesota's going to be a great team this year. But I was wrong about them last year. But what ended up happening? They ended up choking down the stretch. So, and what's his name? Sam Darnold turned into a pumpkin, basically towards the end of the year. He started reverting back to his Jets days and, so.
What's up, Kid Cowboy?
Eyebrows. Right, Laura? What's up, Kid Cowboy? How are you? We're just wrapping up here. But, yeah.
There was something
I hear Skip Bayless is pissed off because of Joy Taylor. Yeah, well, God, 30 seconds. She was topping him off. Oh wait, I can't say. So.
What was I gonna say?
You good?
With the Vikings? Yeah, no, I did it again. Where I forgot what I was gonna say. I gotta start writing my shit down again. Again, usually what I do, guys, is I do write my stuff down here, and so when we go back, I can look back at it. I just haven't done this in a while. Yeah. But no, man. This is how the NFL season is. The off season, at least, very randomized. You can get into different subjects. You can fall down any kind of rabbit hole when it comes to it. We can tell you positives, we can tell you negatives. I think any story within this Cowboys team can be pushed either way. I think fans on either side have ammo to be able to kind of back up what they're saying. Whether it's a new coaching staff and maybe you have doubts about that, and maybe the personnel itself, you definitely understandable. You can't come in here first year unless you wiped out the whole team and brought everybody in from new. You're just not getting your personnel. And so you got to work with what you can. Whether you're talking about quarterback, I mean, I like how Dak is looking, but, hey, you got a freak-ass accident last year that caused him to miss the rest of the season. What's stopping him from having that happen again? So, again, see that. Running backs, Drew just gave some good examples of why, hey, that class of running backs right there, that committee doesn't look extremely great. But as Cowboy fans and what we've had in the past couple of years with Zeke Elliott coming back and stuff, you can see where we get excited about this shit, So it's all about your perspective. So, enjoy the offseason, enjoy it because, right now you are correct. They are going to win that many games. They're not going to be that successful. They are going to be that successful. But until we get in here, until preseason and we see some people, that's going to be a different story. Brian, I'm going to ask you this, though. Out of everybody in the roster, is there a particular guy you're interested in seeing in camp, seeing with shoulder pads on, seeing it going against some reps and stuff? Is there anybody that you're going into this training camp I'm going to keep my eye on that guy?
Well, I'll give you
my guy. I'll give you one.
Yeah,
is Thomas, and Thomas is my guy. Like I want to see him back there. Wanye Thomas. I want to see him back there. Go ahead.
I want to see Jonathan Mingo. I know he's not a guy. Yeah, we went and got Pickens, and I like Tolbert. I do. I mean, Tolbert really, he's kind of a slow starter in college. He did the same thing at the NFL. He's hitting his stride now. He's in a contract year. I don't know what the future holds for Tolbert. Hopefully, he's going to excel this year and be a part of the team. But Mingo is a stud in college. He was a stud in college. If Mingo is anywhere close to what they think, again, the sky's the limit for that offense because we know that the offensive line has upgraded. We do know that the interior of that offensive line, again, it's going to be a lot better than what it was last year. It just is. Now, obviously, health. We're hearing a lot of good things about Terrence Steele, but offensively, I would say Mingo. Like, what do we got? We gave up a 4th-round pick for this guy, and from what we're hearing, he looks great, albeit in shorts. So,
I like it. Yeah, some of the chat's giving us theirs. Kid Cowboy says, keep an eye on that kicker. I like that.
Yeah,
because,
the one that that they need to sign.
Yes.
Will they get a deal done?
Vinny talks about Span Ford, the tight end. I think that's a big one that could. He had some potential last year.
There's
with
another guy killing it.
Came back in the season. It was actually he actually contributed last year in some of that stuff when he came back. So during that ugly football, during ugly football, what do you want the most out of? Okay, health, yes, but we want people to get experiences at least. At least if we're gonna throw away this whole particular lease, at least give some game experience for some of these guys. And I think that's where we feel Guyton got kind of cheated on that right there. Was it Mango number 3 in Carolina still didn't do shit? Yeah, he. But then again, none of those wide receivers did anything. I mean, you have Bryce Young. Yeah, Bryce Young wasn't throwing it. He can't barely see above that offensive line
last year and didn't do anything. Either did anybody else.
Yeah.
So, again, they had how many wins as a franchise last year?
Yeah.
3?
So it's hard to look at that roster in general, and if you pick somebody from that team, there's a possibility that they're going to actually be good. But the body of work tells you that hey, you should probably worry a little bit, and I get that part. But I think Brian already kind of said that there's been rosters built on people's rejections. Let's be real, championships built off of people's rejections.
They had 5. Okay, they had 5 wins last year.
Bryce is on fire now. He found he can throw in late. Well, that's the thing is he had to be sat in order to come back and go, look, dude, you can't just start slinging it. Think about it. Like, maybe change your approach. And maybe that offensive line started giving him lanes to actually throw those balls. But I saw that Carolina team definitely improving after he was benched and after he came back. So even that backup didn't do so well. So I'm interested to see how Bryce matures within this next year. I mean, they got him another weapon, right? They got him McMillan. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But again, I think the Panthers defense is going to be your question mark, right? It's just, especially in that division, I think there's still a lot of question marks in there. Tampa Bay, what are they? Is Baker Mayfield going to be something? How's Atlanta? Atlanta is like, I don't know. I don't know how you don't trade off Sam of Cousins, but he's still there, right? Okay.
Yeah, he's still there. It's almost untradeable. That's the problem.
Yeah. So I'm amazed the Steelers didn't go that way, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, Brian, again, we could go on many subjects for many hours about random ass stuff, and I think that's kind of proven our point here in the past hour or so. But anything that we haven't discussed that maybe you want to bring up?
Nah, I think we're good. Like I said, there's a lot of speculation. We'll have more stuff after this week, with the mandatory OTAs. Basically, when is this team going to be solidified? So when is this? Micah going to get signed? What's going to happen with Brandon Aubrey? Is he going to get a deal? Mm-hmm. They have money. As soon as they sign Micah, they're going to have more money. Who are they going to address? Are they going to be proactive? And I personally, I would like to maybe have another defensive tackle and a veteran corner. That's not going to cost a lot. Outside of that, I'm ready to roll with what we got, and really, move our attention to is signing Tyler Smith, and guys like that. Let's get it a year.
Let's get those there. Yeah, get them early. Bobby Murphy says we might see Daniel Jones back as a starting quarterback. Anthony Richards having some struggles. I think that's why Daniel Jones went there. I mean, let's be real. You look at Richardson and his body of work. I mean, it tells you that he's going to be out, and you're going to have an opportunity. I mean, that's almost a guarantee. Unless he starts to slide or do some of that stuff where they need to get a coach in there to teach him how to slide or something. Because if he keeps trying to put his head down and go for those I get sacrificing your body for a first down at the end of the game and all that kind of stuff, but you know, when you're in the second quarter and you're putting your head down to try to get a touchdown, and you're already up by 10 points, I mean, that's where I question you as a quarterback. You know, you got to be smart, and you know, all those hits are just making you dumber and dumber when it comes to that stuff. Let's be real. I mean, I like Richardson. I think he's an amazing player and athlete. I don't know about quarterback. He has an amazing. Yeah, and I mean, it's a rocket. It can be, you know, come out of there launching and stuff like that. But it's just I question some of the decision making when it comes to some of the other stuff. But you know, he still was a rookie, right? Seems like all these years are now starting to blend together, right? Wow. Oh, Miles Austin.
And a carved up Dallas defensive barbecue chicken. All right, I think it's time to roll.
All right, man. Yeah, exactly. Now we're getting some crazy talk. Here we go.
Now we're talking about
McKee. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, your backup didn't do as great as our backup. Like it was like, oh yeah, well, our backups suck ass, and they're all on different teams.
About that, bro. I got better.
But anyways, Brian, I appreciate you coming through, man. We're back.
Is better than your fourth string guy. If you're seeing Tanner McKee in a meaningful game, you're in trouble. So,
exactly.
Anyway.
So, Brian, man, I appreciate you coming through. I kind of forced you to have to do it on Sunday, so I appreciate you coming.
Oh, that's good.
We'll figure it out for next week, whether it's Friday. So, you know, again, it's a week-by-week type of thing. So I apologize, guys, that we're not a little bit more consistent about our timing. But we're just trying to make sure that we get a show in there. And so it's kind of a little wonky like this. So, Brian, appreciate you coming through. Anything you want to say?
Nah, we're good, man. Like I said, make sure you have your bell notifications on this channel and on my channel. I might do a late night the channel member Zoom just because I haven't done much lately. But this week will be busy. We'll definitely do a couple of them this week. Get back on a normal schedule. We'll have a lot to talk about. I'm going to probably start doing Wednesday nights again, like pretty religiously. So Wednesday night, you'll have a channel member Zoom. I may do something tonight. We'll see. You know, like I said, the wife's back, so we'll see. Look, we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, don't forget about game 2 of the finals, man. That first one was a good ending on that one.
I didn't see any of it, but I could care less at this point. You know, the big team. I know it's going to be a great series, but I'm not gonna lie and tell everybody.
It doesn't seem exciting.
I'd rather watch highlights. Go back and rewatch the Money in the Bank than watch the NBA
That's what
final.
I'm actually end up doing right now. I want to see some of this R-Truth coming back, all this kind of
Knicks
stuff.
Are out. Not that I'm a Knicks fan, but I like
Jacob Batu taking out Sequoia.
Yeah.
You know, like it's about damn time.
Exactly.
You know, those type of things. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you coming through, talking trash, talking football, supportive, non-supportive. I don't care what it is. I appreciate you supporting this channel. Yes, man, I appreciate it. Hate it, dislike it, like it, love it. I don't mind it all, man. This is football. We expect this type of stuff, the trash talking as we get closer to the season. That's going to amp up a little bit more. But one thing I appreciate not forgetting to do is not forgetting to ring that bell, guys. You guys take care and have a good one.
That was ominous. What the was that? What the is this?
Move it like that. Si tú quieres ven para acá o voy para allá. Que me gusta la manera que tú lo mueves, cómo te entregas, cómo lo bailas.
Con J-Con y con la matrícula. Ella combate amiga, dice que todo se va. Sáquenme la botella que funda para gastarle. Esta noche tú y yo nos vivimos la película. Luce cámara, la acción después en mi recámara. En el duelo no se sabe quién ganará. So baile y bebe. Ese seguro y retrocede. Que me encanta la manera en que tú lo mueves.
Solo pégate un poquito, mami, que yo quiero enseñarte lo que yo tengo para ti, lo que tengo para ti. Sé que te va a encantar como meto yo.
What the heck was that? Forgot what I was gonna say.